Good morning. There are some cars that feel less like machines and more like part of the automotive furniture. The Volkswagen Golf is chief among them. For decades, it has been the default answer to the question, what car should I buy? It has stood for sensibility, quality, and a quiet sort of classlessness that few other vehicles can match. It's the car your sensible friend has, the car your parents recommended, and very possibly the car you learned to drive in. It has always been there, a constant benchmark for the practical family hatchback. So, when a new one arrives, you approach it with a certain level of expectation and perhaps a little bit of apprehension. Today, I have the keys to the very latest iteration, the 2026 Volkswagen Golf. The world it enters is vastly different from the one its predecessors dominated. The landscape is now overrun with high-riding SUVs and crossovers, all vying for the attention of the family buyer. Electric vehicles are no longer a niche curiosity, but a mainstream reality, promising a silent, zero-emission future. In this context, a conventional petrol-powered hatchback can feel like a bit of an anachronism. The challenge for Volkswagen is to prove that this familiar formula still holds a powerful and relevant place on our roads. This isn't just another car review, it's an investigation into whether the Golf still matters. My plan for the day is simple and honest. I want to live with this car. I won't be chasing lap times on a closed circuit or performing extreme performance tests. Instead, I'll drive it as any owner would. I will navigate the tight, congested streets of the city, stretch its legs on the motorway, and see how it handles a winding country road. I'll do a food shop, test the boot space, and fiddle with every button and screen to see if they make life easier or more complicated. It's about understanding the car's character, its strengths, and its flaws in the real world. The specific car I'm driving is a mid-spec style trim with the 1.5-litre ETSI mild hybrid petrol engine paired with the DSG automatic gearbox. This is likely to be the volume seller, the heartland of the Golf range. It's the version that must deliver on that core promise of being all the car you could ever really need. It's painted in a demure but smart-looking metallic grey, a color that seems to suit its understated personality perfectly. So, with the key in my pocket and a full day ahead, let's get reacquainted with an old friend and see what new tricks it has learned for 2026. So, why would you choose this Golf over the countless other options available today? That is the fundamental question. The market is saturated with alternatives, many of which shout louder and offer more overt statements of style or technology. Yet, the Golf has always traded on a different currency. A deep, underlying sense of engineering integrity. It's the feeling that every component has been thoughtfully considered and robustly executed. It doesn't try to be flashy. Instead, it aims to be fundamentally correct. In an era of disposable trends and fleeting fashions, that commitment to substance is a powerful and increasingly rare quality that discerning buyers still appreciate. The 2026 model doubles down on this philosophy. Volkswagen has clearly listened to the criticisms of the previous generation, particularly concerning its over-reliance on touch-sensitive controls. This new car represents a quiet course correction. It's an admission that chasing every technological trend isn't always the right path. The appeal here is the promise of a refined, user-friendly experience that just works, day in and day out. It's for the person who doesn't want their car to be an extension of their smartphone, but rather a reliable and comfortable tool for transportation. It's a mature choice in an often immature market. Furthermore, the Golf still offers a driving experience that most crossovers simply cannot replicate. Because you sit lower to the ground, you feel more connected to the road. The car's lower center of gravity inherently provides better agility and stability, making it more engaging to drive without requiring bone-jarringly firm suspension. For those who still find joy in the simple act of driving, this is a significant advantage. The Golf doesn't need to shout about being sporty. It just is, in a subtle, accessible way. It feels nimble in town and reassuringly planted on faster roads, a dynamic polish that has been honed over half a century. This enduring relevance is also about trust. The Golf nameplate carries with it a legacy of reliability and strong resale values. People buy a Golf because they trust it won't let them down, that it will be affordable to run, and that it will still be desirable when it comes time to sell it on. In a turbulent economic climate, this kind of predictability is immensely reassuring. The 2026 Golf is not trying to reinvent the wheel. It is, instead, focused on perfecting a proven recipe, making it the definitive modern interpretation of the sensible family hatchback. It's a safe harbor in a sea of automotive uncertainty. Walking around the new Golf, the first word that comes to mind is evolution. Volkswagen has resisted the urge to give it a radical, attention-grabbing redesign. The familiar two-box silhouette is instantly recognizable. The signature thick C-pillar, a Golf design cue for generations, is present and correct. This is a handsome, well-proportioned car, but it is deliberately understated. It won't turn heads in the same way as some of its more flamboyant rivals, and that is precisely the point. The design exudes a quiet confidence, suggesting it doesn't need to shout to be noticed. It's a car for people who have nothing to prove. The details are where you notice the updates. The front end features a slimmer grille and sleeker headlight units that now connect via a thin illuminated light bar on this trim level. It gives the car a wider, more modern face, especially at night. The panel gaps are exceptionally tight and consistent, a hallmark of Volkswagen's manufacturing prowess. The paint finish on this example, a deep metallic gray, has a wonderful luster to it and feels thick and durable. Every crease and line is subtle and serves a purpose, contributing to the car's clean, cohesive look. It's a masterclass in restrained, Teutonic design that will undoubtedly age very gracefully. At night, the car's lighting signature comes into its own. The standard LED headlights cast a clean, white light that provides excellent visibility on unlit roads. The optional IQ Light Matrix LED system, which this car has, is even more impressive, cleverly blanking out sections of the main beam to avoid dazzling other drivers while keeping the rest of the road fully illuminated. At the rear, the LED taillights have a crisp, three-dimensional graphic that looks thoroughly modern and premium. It's a small detail, but it's one that elevates the car's perceived quality and shows a genuine attention to detail from the designers. However, some might find the design a little too conservative. In a world of aggressive angles and bold styling statements, the Golf's quiet composure could be mistaken for a lack of imagination. It doesn't make a big song and dance about its arrival. But I suspect that is exactly what its target audience wants. This is not a car bought as a fashion accessory. It is bought as a piece of high-quality, dependable engineering. Its design reflects that perfectly. It is smart, sophisticated, and completely devoid of unnecessary ornamentation, which is a very appealing trait indeed. Opening the solid-feeling door and settling into the driver's seat, the interior immediately reinforces that sense of understated quality. The first thing you notice is the seats. In this style trim, they are trimmed in a pleasant mix of fabric and art velours microfleece. And they are fantastically comfortable. They offer a huge range of adjustment and provide excellent support in all the right places, particularly for the lower back. This is a cabin designed for spending long hours in without complaint. The driving position is also spot on, with a clear view out and all the primary controls falling easily to hand. The build quality is, for the most part, excellent. The top of the dashboard and the front door cards are covered in soft touch, yielding plastics that feel suitably premium. Everything you touch regularly, the steering wheel, the gear selector, the indicator stalks, has a solid, well-damped action. Volkswagen has clearly made an effort here. However, if you go looking for it, you will find some harder, more scratchy plastics lower down in the cabin, particularly around the center console and on the rear door panels. It's a common cost-saving measure in this class, but it feels a little disappointing in a car that otherwise gets so much right. Now, let's talk about the infotainment and controls, the Achilles heel of the previous model. Thankfully, Volkswagen has listened. The central touchscreen is larger, brighter, and significantly more responsive than before. The menu structure has been simplified, making it easier to find key functions while on the move. Crucially, the infuriating touch-sensitive sliders for temperature and volume are now illuminated, so you can actually see them at night. An even bigger victory, however, is the return of proper physical buttons on the steering wheel. They are intuitive, provide satisfying tactile feedback, and are infinitely better to use than the old haptic touchpads. It's a huge improvement in everyday usability. Despite these improvements, the system is not perfect. Some core functions, like adjusting the fan speed, are still buried within a sub-menu on the touchscreen, which is never ideal when you should be focused on the road. The digital driver's display is clear and customizable, but perhaps offers a few too many configuration options, creating unnecessary complexity. The overall impression is one of significant progress. The cabin is now a much more user-friendly and less frustrating place to be. It strikes a good balance between modern technology and traditional, ergonomic common sense, which is exactly what a Golf interior should do. The true measure of a Golf has always been how it drives, and this 2026 model does not disappoint. The 1.5-liter ETSI engine is the heart of the experience. It produces a modest 150 horsepower, but honestly, it's the way it delivers its power that impresses. The mild hybrid system helps to smooth out the engine's start-stop function and provides a small burst of electric assistance when pulling away from a standstill. This actually makes progress around town feel remarkably seamless and refined. The engine itself is exceptionally quiet at low speeds, contributing to a calm and relaxing urban driving environment. It's an easy, undemanding car to navigate through traffic. The 7-speed DSG automatic gearbox is a willing partner most of the time. In normal driving, its shifts are almost imperceptible, slurring from one gear to the next with impressive speed and smoothness. It helps the engine stay in its most efficient operating range, contributing to good fuel economy. During my mixed day of driving, the trip computer showed an average of around 48 miles per gallon, which is a very respectable figure for a petrol-powered family car of this size. The gearbox can, however, be a little hesitant to kick down when you ask for a sudden burst of acceleration, pausing for a moment before selecting a lower gear. Once you leave the city and join the motorway, the Golf truly comes into its own. This is where its big car feel becomes apparent. At a steady 70 miles per hour, the cabin is impressively hushed. There is very little wind noise from the mirrors or A-pillars, and road noise is well suppressed, even on coarse tarmac. The engine settles into a barely audible hum, turning over at low revs. It feels stable, secure, and completely unflustered by crosswinds or passing lorries. It's a car you could happily drive across a continent in, arriving at your destination feeling fresh and relaxed. The ride comfort is another major highlight. The suspension on this non-GTI model is tuned for compliance, and it does a superb job of soaking up the bumps and imperfections of typical British roads. It glides over potholes and broken surfaces with a sophistication that you might expect from a larger, more expensive saloon. Yet, it never feels soft or wallowy. There's an underlying tautness that keeps the body well controlled. This balance between comfort and control is a difficult one to strike, and Volkswagen's engineers have absolutely nailed it. It's a key part of what makes the Golf feel so polished and complete. While the Golf excels at comfortable cruising, it's important to know if it can still entertain you on a good piece of road. Taking it off the motorway and onto some twisting B-roads reveals its dynamic character. The steering is light and precise, making it easy to place the car accurately through corners. It doesn't fizz with feedback in the way a dedicated sports car might, but it is consistent and inspires confidence. You always have a clear sense of what the front wheels are doing. The car turns into bends eagerly, with very little body roll for a standard family hatchback. The chassis feels inherently balanced and capable. You can carry a surprising amount of speed through a series of corners, and the Golf remains composed and predictable. The suspension, which felt so supple on the motorway, demonstrates its sophisticated damping by keeping the car settled over mid-corner bumps. It refuses to be knocked off its line. There's a huge amount of grip from the standard tires, and the overall feeling is one of immense security. It's not a car that goads you into driving quickly, but it is deeply satisfying and competent when you choose to do so. It feels engineered to handle far more power than this 1.5-liter engine can provide. The engine and gearbox, which were so brilliant in town, are perhaps the limiting factors when you start to press on. The 150 horsepower is adequate, but you wouldn't call it fast. Overtaking slower traffic requires a bit of forward planning and a heavy right foot. When you work it hard, the engine remains smooth, but can become a little vocal at the top of its rev range, losing some of the refinement it displays at lower speeds. Using the steering wheel mounted paddles to control the DSG gearbox helps, allowing you to hold onto gears longer and keep the engine in its sweet spot. But this is clearly not a hot hatch. This is not a criticism, but an observation of the car's intended purpose. This standard Golf is not designed to be a thrilling high-performance machine. That's what the GTI is for. Instead, its dynamic brief is to be safe, stable, and confidence-inspiring in all conditions, and it achieves this with aplomb. It provides a driving experience that is enjoyable and polished, without ever sacrificing comfort or refinement. For the vast majority of drivers, this blend of capabilities is exactly right. It's a car that feels incredibly well judged and expertly engineered from the ground up. Practicality isn't the most glamorous aspect of a car, but it's arguably the most important for a daily driver. The Golf has always been a master of usable space, and this 2026 model continues that tradition. Let's start with parking. The car's dimensions are compact enough to make it easy to maneuver in tight city car parks. All-round visibility is generally very good, thanks to the relatively thin pillars and large glass area. The rear window is a decent size, and the view over your shoulder is better than in many more stylized rivals. Front and rear parking sensors, along with a clear reversing camera, take any remaining stress out of the process. Moving to the back seats, you'll find a surprising amount of space for a car of this size. There's enough legroom and headroom for two average-sized adults to sit comfortably, even on longer journeys. Trying to fit three across the back would be a squeeze, as is the case in most cars in this class. But it's perfectly fine for shorter trips. The rear doors open wide, making it easy to get in and out or to fit a child seat. There are also dedicated air vents for rear passengers, a thoughtful touch that isn't always standard. It's a genuinely usable and accommodating rear cabin. The boot is another area where the Golf impresses. The official capacity is 381 liters, which is a competitive figure for the hatchback class. More importantly, the space itself is a very practical, square shape, with a low loading lip and minimal intrusion from the wheel arches. This makes it easy to slide heavy items in and out. I managed to fit a large weekly grocery shop in with plenty of room to spare, If you need more space, the rear seats fold down in a 60-40 split, creating a long, mostly flat load area that is surprisingly cavernous. It's this everyday usability that has always been at the core of the Golf's appeal. It's the small, thoughtful details that really add up. There are plenty of useful storage spaces dotted around the cabin, including large door bins, a decent-sized glove box, and a useful cubby under the central armrest. The cup holders are well designed and hold different-sized containers securely. Everything feels like it has been designed by people who actually use their cars for everyday tasks. The Golf doesn't just look good on paper, it works brilliantly in the real world. This unwavering focus on practicality is a key reason why it remains such a compelling alternative to a bulkier, less efficient SUV. So, after a full day with the car, who is the 2026 Volkswagen Golf really for? I think it's for the discerning buyer who values substance over style. It's for the person who has moved beyond the need for a flashy badge or an aggressive design to signal their status. They appreciate engineering integrity, refined comfort, and the quiet satisfaction of owning something that is simply very good at its job. They are likely to be people who enjoy driving but see no need for a compromised, high-riding SUV when a well-honed hatchback offers a more engaging and efficient experience. Ownership should be a relatively painless affair. Volkswagen has a vast dealer network, and parts and servicing for a car as ubiquitous as the Golf are readily available and reasonably priced. While the brand's reliability record has had its ups and downs, the mechanical components in this particular model, the 1.5-liter engine and DSG gearbox, are well-proven units that have been used across the wider VW group for years. Any early issues have likely been ironed out. This mechanical familiarity should provide a good degree of peace of mind for long-term owners, which is a crucial part of the purchasing decision. The feeling of owning a Golf is one of quiet confidence. It's like owning a well-made watch or a good pair of leather shoes. It may not be the most exciting item you own, but you derive a deep sense of satisfaction from its quality and fitness for purpose. It's a car that slots effortlessly into your life, never causing a fuss, and always ready to perform whatever task you ask of it. It's competent on the school run, comfortable on a long holiday drive, and just practical enough for a trip to the DIY store. This versatility is its greatest strength. It's the antidote to the modern trend of automotive overcomplication. It doesn't bombard you with gimmicks or try to be something it's not. It is, at its core, an exceptionally well-engineered and thoughtfully designed family hatchback. It appeals to a rational, logical mindset, but also satisfies the emotional desire for quality and comfort. It's for people who have researched their options, weighed the pros and cons, and concluded that the original, perfected formula is still the best. In short, it's for people who know exactly what they want in a car. After a full day driving, shopping, and simply living with the 2026 Volkswagen Golf, I am left with a clear and overwhelmingly positive impression. This is a car that knows exactly what it is and what it needs to do. Volkswagen has taken the fundamentally sound basis of the previous generation and has meticulously addressed its key weaknesses, primarily the frustrating interior controls. The result is a car that feels more complete, more polished, and more user-friendly than ever before. It has rediscovered the core values that made the Golf an icon in the first place: quality, comfort, and common sense. The one thing I truly loved was the ride comfort. The way this car glides over rough British road surfaces is genuinely remarkable. It has a level of compliance and sophistication that you would normally associate with a much larger and more expensive executive saloon. This exceptional ride quality, combined with the quiet cabin and superb seats, makes it an incredibly relaxing car to spend time in, whether you're stuck in traffic or cruising for hours on the motorway. It's a real standout feature. The one thing that surprised me, perhaps with a tinge of disappointment, was the slight hesitation from the DSG gearbox when demanding sudden acceleration. It's smooth 95% of the time, but that momentary pause can be noticeable when you're in a hurry. So, who should buy this car? I would recommend this 1.5 ETSA model to anyone looking for a high-quality, comfortable and practical daily driver who doesn't want or need an SUV. It's perfect for small families, professional couples, or discerning individuals who value a refined driving experience. It's for the buyer who prioritizes long-term satisfaction and usability over fleeting trends. If you want more performance, the GTI will be the one to wait for. But for the vast majority of people, this version is, quite simply, all the car you will ever need. My verdict is calm and simple. The Volkswagen Golf is back to its very best. It is a deeply impressive and incredibly well-rounded car that excels in almost every area that matters. It's not the most exciting car you can buy, nor is it the cheapest. But in terms of its sheer breadth of ability, its engineering integrity, and its understated class, it remains the undisputed benchmark in the family hatchback segment. It still rules the road, not through brute force or flashy tricks, but through a quiet, unwavering competence. It is a truly excellent motor car. Highly recommended.